Tina from Tina's Talk Time. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Sunshine Show. If you've not popped into our show before, it's a transatlantic collaboration. There's four of us. There's Busy Bee Marie, who lives in Las Vegas, hence the transatlantic theme. There's Maria Crocker, and there's also, who lives in Wales, and there's also Geordie Grandma. Every week we try on, and we collab for about a year now, but every week we come on and do a different topic, or maybe a challenge, or all sorts of different things. So if anyone's got any suggestions, let us know. So every Sunday morning at 7:30 we all come on and do, we call it Sunday Sunshine Show, but we do various things. So I'm sure you can, if you've not been before, pop back and have a look at some of the others. And after you've watched this video, I'd love you to pop across to Busy Bee Marie's channel, Maria Crocker's channel, and Karen from Geordie Grandma. I'll put the details across the screens, but I'll also put it in the description box, which is under more. If you look under the photo, if you're on a mobile device, I'm not too sure how you do it on the TV, but on a mobile device where it says more under the photo, if you just click on that, it'll come up with all the things that I've put in, you know, all the information. Right, so what's the topic today? Oh, by the way, I'll just say I've just come back from Cornwall. I got back from Cornwall yesterday. I've been there for a week, absolutely loved it. It's one of my favourite places on earth, I would say. It's so beautiful, and they have such better weather than we do in the north of England. It's lovely. I had a lovely time. I come back with a water infection, which is not good, but I am very prone to them. And I'm not going to dwell on it or anything like that, but if anybody would like me to do a video on water infections and how they've affected me, how they start, what I think started them, just let me know, pop it in the description box, because it's sort of a lot of us suffer from them, but it's quite of a silent illness, really. You know, not a lot of people talk about them. So if you want to, but that's just another topic for another day. Anyway, this week what we decided to do is do 5 items from our bucket list. Now, I found that very difficult. I don't think I've ever really thought about having a bucket list before. So I did try and think, and I mean, I googled bucket lists, what other people had had. And none of them were things that really would be on mine, or actually some of them I'd already done, you know, which I suppose I'm very lucky. But like, you know, I like Las Vegas. Well, somebody had put they wanted to walk down the Las Vegas Strip. Well, I've done that, and I'm sure Marie's done it many times. But anyway, these are the things that I think that I would like on my bucket list. Just 5 items. Now, one that I've always known that I've wanted to do, and I don't know why, because I don't like heights, and I've no idea why I've got this, but I have always wanted to go in a hot air balloon. I don't think it's Richard Branson that sent me off or what, but it's something that I've fancied doing. I just don't know why, and I'd probably be really scared if I went in there. I'd probably have my eyes shut all the time, but it's just something I've always fancied doing. So that's number 1. Now, number 2 is, as a child, I did go a couple of times to the Yorkshire coast. I would like to travel all around the Yorkshire coast. You know, I sort of, we didn't go very much, but the people who lived across the road from us, which were friends, I remember it was, I always used to call them Mr. and Mrs. Marsden, but they had a son that was about my age, and we used to sort of play together when we were younger, and they had a car, which was a rare occurrence where I lived. It was only a small car, and they used to go out on a Sunday, and they often took me with them. And I can remember going to Flamborough Head and places like that, Whitby. Did I go to Whitby, or was that a holiday? I can't remember, but I've got these visions of Filey and in my head, and I would like to go back and see all those places and see if they like what I remember them. And also another place that I'd like to go to, my nana came from Saltburn, which is on the northeast coast. And I've no idea what there is there, but I that's another place that I fancy going. So that's number 2 on my bucket list. Now number 3 is a very funny one, is it? But I've always fancied going to a lavender field. I don't know why. I see people with these fabulous photos in lavender fields. I did actually try and Google it to see if we had any around where I live, but I don't think we do. I think they're probably further south. So that's number 3. I really would like to go in a lavender field. I'll see if I can find some pictures of lavender fields that we're allowed to put on and put them on. I would imagine that the smell is amazing, as well as the beautiful. I mean, it's such a pretty colour, and they look so amazing when you see them. It's just something that I've always thought I'd like to do. Now, so what was that? 3? Have I got up to number 3? Well, number 4 is something that my daughter's done, and I would love to do, actually. I'd love to go and see the Northern Lights. You know, sometimes when they say, oh, you can see them in the north of England, I've always looked, but I've never been able to see them. When they say on the weather, oh, you might see the Northern Lights tonight, I've never seen them. The only time I can remember once being on a plane, and I think we were going to Mallorca years ago, and I think the pilot said, oh, if you look out of the left-hand window or something, you can see the Northern Lights, but I never really got to see them. But I'd love to go to Iceland and see the Northern Lights and see Iceland. It's such a different, just a different type of environment to what we're used to. So that's probably number 4. Now number 5 is a strange one, really, because what I'd love to do is I'd love to meet all the friends that I've made, the other YouTubers that I feel like a lot of them are friends, even though I don't really know them. And I don't just mean my lovely Transatlantic Housewives. I mean, I have met Busy Bee Marie. I have met Marie. I haven't met Maria or Geordie Grandma, Karen from Geordie Grandma. I would love to meet them. But also lots of other YouTubers that I watch. I mean, Caroline Mrs M was probably one of the first ones that I watched. And I really did I watched her quite a lot through lockdown, and I used to be in her book club. So I probably like to meet Caroline. Should have told her to pop down to Cornwall, shouldn't I, when I was down there? Is it far from Devon? I'm not sure whereabouts in Devon she lives. So I'd like to meet Caroline. Obviously, the other Transatlantic Housewives, Jane, you know, from Just Janey, and the first 2 ladies that I ever collabed with, which was Kim from Fairly Average Mum and Elaine from Silver Moonlight. Maxine Georgina, I like Maxine. I watched Maxine Georgina a lot. Oh, and one lady I would have loved to have met, but she stopped doing a YouTube channel anymore, and that's Fern from Fern Figures It Out. I think, well, I just think she was trolled a little bit, and she gave it up. And it's such a shame, because she was such a brilliant YouTuber. She was lovely, lovely lady. And then obviously Mr. Carrington and Luke Catlow. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it, if all those YouTubers could have a meet-up. I think the younger ones probably do, but us oldies never get together, really. We should do. Maria Crocker and I we thought we'd try and meet in Birmingham once, but when I looked at the price of the train fare, it was like over £100 to go to Birmingham, and I thought they'll probably be on strike anyway, so I didn't go. But that would be lovely. There's lots and lots of more YouTubers, lots of new YouTubers coming up, you know, like What Jew Loves and Kirsty McQueen. They're all good YouTubers. So I would love to meet up with a lot of YouTubers. It'd be nice if we could have a meet somewhere, as long as I didn't have to organise it. So that's the 5 items on my bucket list. It's hot air balloon, like Richard Branson, lying in a lavender field. That must be amazing. Lavender field, taking photos of it, you know. going across the Yorkshire coast again. I think I'd love to do that. Seeing the Northern Lights and meeting all my YouTube friends. So, and also I'd love to meet all my subscribers as well. If you ever see me out and about, just come up and say hello. I love it I love meeting people, because you can put a face to a name, you know, particularly with someone who comments on your videos a lot. Anyway, that's the end of this week's Sunday Sunshine Show. So what I'd like you to do is pop across to the other ladies' channels. So that's Busy Bee Marie, Maria Crocker and Karen from Geordie Grandma, and have a look, see what's on their bucket list. I'm quite excited to see. And also we'll see you next week on our next Sunday Sunshine Show. So it's bye from me, bye.